White Russian is a simple cocktail made with vodka, coffee liqueur and cream. It's great as it is, but what if we switched vodka with rum, whiskey, brandy, gin or tequila? Would it still be good? Let's find out on Dr. Cork. In the 1960s, the White Russian emerged when cream was added to the Black Russian, transforming it into the lighter version. Both drinks lack Russian origins. The Black Russian likely originated in Belgium, and their names merely stem from their vodka base. The White Russian wasn't a popular cocktail until the Big Lebowski came out in 1998, where Jeff Bridges' character, the Dude, popularized it by constantly indulging in it throughout the film. Since that time, the White Russian became one of the most popular cocktails in the world. By the way, if you want me to make a video about the Big Lebowski, tell me in the comments. The allure of the White Russian lies in its simplicity. Vodka, coffee liqueur and cream create a pleasing combination. So let's start with a regular White Russian with vodka as a reference point. I'm going to use equal parts of cream, Kahlua and vodka. Some people prefer to double the amount of vodka, but I prefer it this way. Also, it's easier to remember. 1, 1, 1. Cocktail is built directly in an old-fashioned glass, to which I'm gonna add vodka. As computer scientists like to say, garbage in, garbage out, so don't use the cheapest vodka in the world. 1 part, or 1 ounce, 30 milliliters. Coffee liqueur. I'm using Kahlua today. It's not my favorite, but it's probably the most popular coffee liqueur in the world, and it has a familiar taste. If you want to make a better coffee liqueur, check out my video. Also 1 part. As for the cream, I'm going to use what some people call half and half, which is essentially a cream with less fat content, about 10 to 15%. You can absolutely use single or even double cream, but I have a lot of cocktails to try today and I'm not ready for this much fat. You can also use whole milk or some vegan alternatives if you're okay with going to hell. Also 1 part. Fill the glass with ice, stir thoroughly, and here it is. A rich, comforting taste. Vodka is a neutral spirit, so it provides a subtle kick and doesn't add any flavor. We don't consider alcohol a flavor here. Of course, most of the taste comes from the coffee liqueur, while the cream gives it a velvety texture and marries all the flavors. It is an almost perfect cocktail. Before we continue, I'd like to remind you that if you want to see videos about some specific topic, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you want to support my channel, you can become a patron or join the YouTube membership. All the links are down below, as well as the written recipes. Thanks a lot. Now let's add rum instead of vodka and make the white Cuban. I'm not using spiced rum, because it's like cheating. Of course, it's going to be good. It's really hard to find a cocktail where adding spiced rum won't make it better. Bloody Mary maybe, and that's it. Also, I'm not going to add Cuban rum, because I'm not a fan of its kinda salty mineral taste. Basically, Cuban rum sucks. There, I've said it. If you disagree, well, that's your problem. Instead, I'm going to add light Nicaraguan rum. In spite of being white, it's actually aged for a couple of years, so it tastes pretty mellow. I won't rename the cocktail though, because white Nicaraguan doesn't roll off the tongue. White rum, 1 part, coffee liqueur, 1 part, and cream. Ice, and stir. I'm yet to find a rum which doesn't go well with the white Cuban. Even if it's a Cuban rum, it tastes, to me, better than vodka. The notes of vanilla, coconut, maybe a little bit of cinnamon, they just work so well with coffee and cream, just as I expected. Now I'm going to take Irish whiskey and make some white Irish. Bourbon would also work great, but I'm not so sure about Scotch whiskey. Of course, there are different styles of it, but usually it has too much character and overpowers everything else. That's why you won't find too many cocktails that use Scotch whiskey. As for the Irish whiskies, it's common nowadays for producers to age their spirits in different casks. Sherry, bourbon, rum, Calvados or even IPA beer. It gives their whiskies hints of other flavors, and I'm totally down with that. I have a few bottles, and I'm using sherry casked finished whiskey. 1 ounce, 30 milliliters. Also Kahlua and cream. Ice and stir. It's even better. Irish whiskey or bourbon or mostly any whiskey goes well with cream and coffee liqueur. I don't know which I like better, the rum one or this one. Now let's take a walk on the wild side and make a white Englishman with gin. I have made one with barrel-aged gin and called it White Belgian because the gin was from Belgium. Here it is. And it worked. 2 out of 3 people, myself included, liked that cocktail. But a barrel-aged gin is not the most common ingredient in the world, and also aging mellows down its herbal flavor and gives it oaky flavors. And I always wanted to try to make proper white Englishman with regular London dry gin. Here it is. 1 part gin, 1 part coffee liqueur, and 1 part cream. Ice, stir, and here it is. It's not that bad. You'd think it would be worse. Juniper taste doesn't fit here, but it's a little bit like mixing water and oil. They just don't belong together. But cream helps even here. So maybe it's not my favorite variation from today's video, but it's definitely, it's like with vodka, about the same. Yeah, maybe a little bit better, just more interesting that way. Tequila is another unconventional choice for mixing with coffee liqueur and cream, so let's do that in a white Mexican. Again, I could use añejo or reposado tequila, which is aged in oak casks, and that would make marrying the flavors easier, but what's fun about that? So I'm taking regular blanco tequila, made with 100% blue agave though, 1 ounce, 30 milliliters, coffee liqueur and cream, ice, and stir. Tequila fits perfectly with this cocktail. I shouldn't be surprised, because I've already done that. But for those who think mixing tequila with coffee is a bad idea, make yourself some white Mexican. You'll be amazed. Maybe even more so than with aged tequila. Aged tequila loses part of its character in this cocktail, and the blanco one fits perfectly. The next cocktail could be called White Frenchman, if I used cognac, but I don't have it. It could also be called White Spaniard, if I used Spanish brandy. I have it, but during experimentation I found out that aging it for 12 years gave it too much oaky afterbirth. It's great for other cocktails, but not for this one, which we are going to call White Armenian, because I'm using Armenian brandy. I may not live in Armenia anymore, but Armenia lives in my heart. Also, I'm still 75% Armenian, and that'll never change, so... Armenian brandy, coffee liqueur, and kurimu. Ice, and stir. Not bad. Sweet and pretty balanced. As I already said, there's nothing you can add to a White Russian that don't fit in there. I'm yet to find the drink that does that. It's not my favorite though, but it's definitely better than more aged sherry brandy I have from Spain. That's it for today. Tell me in the comments which other spirits should you add to a White Russian or white something, white blanc, and also check out my other videos like these videos about home alcohol or other cocktail recipes. All recipes in text form are on my website, thedrcork.com. If you want to support my channel, join YouTube membership or become a patron. Drink responsibly, and as always, Dosvidos.